Okay, book lovers, welcome to the channel again. We've got with me Pek Chi, and he's going to share with he's going to share his book with us, and it's got to do with a leader from Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew wrote a book, and he's going to share the 3 takeaways from this book. But before we go into the book, just want to get a little bit of Pek Chi's background. Pek Chi, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, sure. Okay, my name is Pek Chi. So I'm a little bit self-deprecating sense of humor. I explain my name because my name Pek Chi is a bit strange. Okay, Pek is my family name. It's Hokkien. My father is a Hokkien. Then Chi is Cantonese. My mother is a Cantonese. So when a Hokkien man and a Cantonese woman, they get together, their first son is Pek Chi. Okay, so I gave myself a English name, Gregory Pek.
And what's your favorite Mandarin book that you can
Mandarin
recommend?
Book, okay, Lee Kuan Yew.
Lee Kuan Yew, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Lee Kuan Yew books. This is a Chinese one. You got two.
Yes,
two English ones.
I have 7 Lee Kuan Yew's books. Okay, 1 6 is physical books and 1 in your Kindle. Mr. Lee is the greatest man I admire most. And after reading Lee Kuan Yew books, the books have changed my life, changed my life directions. I'm from least rational to more rational. I'm more equipped with mental models, which I will explain to you in third text away. Mental models, what I equate from,
Up close with
Lee Kuan Yew. Okay, insight from colleagues and friends. 37 colleagues and friends, including Robert Koch.
All right, Pek Chi.
Okay.
Let's go for the first takeaway. I'm actually quite interested to see how this book and the rest actually changed your life. Maybe.
My first takeaway, I would like to ask 3 questions and try to answer it. Okay. First question, is Mr. Lee Kuan Yew a great man? And what factor make Mr. Lee to be a great man? Okay. Second, what is his strength and outstanding characteristic? Third, how Mr. Lee success? Okay. I'm trying to answer. Answer to number 1, is Mr. Lee Kuan Yew a great man? The answer is yes, of course. Okay, I quote from a former US Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, though otherwise, every great achievement is a dream before it became reality, and his vision was of a state that would not simply survive, but prevail by excellence. Superior intelligence, discipline, and ingenuity would substitute for resources. But human being has been evolved more than 20,000 years to thinking being. So some people will have another big questions. Why him, not others? Actually, I can learn from Mr. Lee's strength.
Yeah.
His rationality, how to become a rationality, and what he advised to us. The first advisor, is self-improvement. Self-improvement. In Chinese we call 自强不息, is to, let's say, to improve your health and mental power. Okay, first, eat less, not too full, and then second, get enough sleep. Depend on you, 6 hour, 8 hour, 10 hour. Okay, third, get a job you interested in. Then fourth, exercise every day. But the most important thing is keep your mind sharp and alert. Even you still in a good physical health, it would upset your family and friends. So keep your mind quick-witted, learning new things every day, curiosity to the everything surrounding us. So okay, I jump to the strength of Mr. Lee. Okay, I just straight away. First, determination and discipline. Then pragmatism. Okay, these 2 I will share in second text away. Then the third is persuasive power. Mr. Lee has have many times swayed the public opinion around, but he can feel others' feeling and moods. You know, many rational people, they are using a math or logic to solve sort of mechanical problem, but very few people can find a balance between rational and psychology matter. That's why he success. You know, if you can't feel the mood of voter, how you can win the election? The third question, how Mr. Lee success? I think everyone interesting, right? I think the better answer is I direct quote from his second autography. If there was one formula for our success, it was that we were constantly studying how to make things work or how to make them work better. I was never a prisoner of any theory. What guided me were reason and reality. The acid test I applied to every theory or scheme was, would it work? If it did not work or the result were poor, I did not waste more time and resources on it. I almost never made the same mistake twice. I try to learn from mistakes other had made. The second text away, I will just read 4 short stories from this book. Okay, the first story is from Mr. Robert Koch. Mr. Robert Koch. This part is quite touching story, not very serious. Okay, from Robert Koch. Kuan Yew and I seldom engage in super warm or super friendly talk, but sometime in 2007 or 2008, he said a very funny thing that touched my heart. We were walking down from his hotel to the car to go to dinner. Pauline is the second wife of Robert Koch. Was with Gyok Chu. You know, Gyok Chu is Mrs. Lee in front. He turned to me and said, "Come to think of it, finally, it is only friendship that matter. In other words, everything is gone, but the only thing left is friendship." I thought, my God, I'm seeing the human side of him. You know, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew is not an Iron Man. He also have a human side. Okay, Kuan Yew visited me a few times after Gyok Chu passed away in October 2010. One thing about him I would say is that he stays true to one woman in his whole life. And that is quite remarkable for a man of those time. He led an example life, disciplined life. He never womanized or drank to excess. Okay, it's nice, man. Okay, the second story is okay. How disciplined and determination Mr. Lee was by his former private secretary, Mr. Alan Chan. Okay.
Wow, so many stories. Wow.
Mr. Lee was having heart problem and had to have a second stent put in. He was bogged down with health problem and was asked to slow down. But he kept on going despite his ill health. He gave a talk at Nanyang Technology University on 1996. He was just recovering and his blood pressure reading was not good, but he felt it was very important that he addressed the student. He felt it was crucial that they heard the government point of view. We had to make a special arrangement for ambulance. Doctors were also on standby. That day he spoke from 8:30 p.m. to midnight, engaging in long exchange with students. A normal person would have stayed at home and rested, but not Mr. Lee. Here's the second story. Is it?
Okay.
Determination.
Yeah, determination is there. Right.
Okay. The third story is shared from a former group chief investment officer of GIC, Mr. Ng Kok Siong. I remember vividly the day I arrived at the Istana for meditation session, but was told Mr. Lee, be delayed by about 1.5 hours. I was asked if I wanted to come back later. I said it was okay. I would stay and read a book while waiting. His secretary said he had gone to the Singapore General Hospital for treatment. During the day, the rumors had been circulating that he had suffered a heart attack and was seriously ill in hospital. So I was relieved to hear he was coming back to meet me. When he got back, we meditated as usual. After it was over, I said, Mr. Lee, you must have heard the rumors circulating about you being seriously ill. And here you are, in front of me, looking quite well. Don't you think the government should put out a statement to stop these rumors? Richard, you know what Mr. Lee answered?
No.
Mr. Lee answered, no, that is no point because one day it will be true.
Oh.
So
that's
pragmatism,
pragmatic.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, pragmatic. Yes,
It's true.
Okay, the last story. It's a love story sharing from former press secretary Yong Yun Ying. Okay, I recall a trip to the United States in 2006 when Mrs. Lee was tired and wanted to skip her afternoon swim. She gave the excuse that since that day was a public holiday in Singapore, she would be allowed to take a break from swimming. But Mr. Lee advised her against it, saying that the swim would help her to have a very good night's sleep. He then added that he would join her for a swim later that evening. Then the smile on Mrs. Lee's face after hearing that it will etch in my mind. While I have never heard they say I love you, but their action revealed everything. It's an old-fashioned couple, but it's very romantic and
So I see some form of loyalty, love,
yes,
pragmatism, discipline.
Yes.
That's all coming out in these stories that you just shared.
The last takeaway, it's all about advice. Advice what we can learn from Mr. Lee. I think that is the most important thing. I think that's why I want to share this useful mental models and advice to everyone. Of course, they must have motivation to self-improvement. I try to distill the wisdom from the books I reading and from the YouTube, the videos. And fortunately, I have equipped some of the idea and mental models of rationality from others' books. I found quite interesting when a 97 years old millionaire, Charlie Munger, sharing how to have success or have a happiness life. The straightaway answer is not easy because no two alike, different trait, background, talents of us, right? But think the opposite way is much easy. You find out what would cause you have a miserable and painful life, like you are alcoholic, drug abusive, you involve in a extramarital affair, you overspend, you addict to the gambling, and many. So then you try to stay away from this. First, a little bit boring is mental models. And second, don't take everything we have today as granted and be prepared for danger when living in peace. The Chinese say, 居安思危. Start. What is a mental model? Mental model in classic economics. One of the main assumptions is suppose every market participant is rational, who's sensitive to the price, benefit, and whatever benefit cost. But in reality, I seriously doubt, because for instance, in stock market is not always efficient. Many people, short-term investors, they buy high and then sell low, not buy low, sell high. They buy high and sell low. So people believe in all kind of ridiculous fake news. So unless we acknowledge some kind of flaw and imperfect of our brain condition and psychology system, we are impossible to upload some of the very useful mental models. So the mental model actually is you can learn from university or your lifestyle in work, or from economics, mathematics, classical literature, and many. Okay, people without mental model like is quite narrow-minded. Mr. Lee also advised us not to being a prisoner of any idea. You don't trap in any extreme ideology. You must understand, no, you bear in mind is there is a means to an end. The most important is ends. You how to solve the problem, not the tools. Okay, I put in this way, okay. Mr. Lee always advise us to be a rational, pragmatism. But pragmatism is easy to say, but very hard to practice. How can you be a pragmatism if you do not have something in your head, right? You must have something so you can be pragmatism, you can be a rational. So I just to try some of the methods. The second part is don't take for granted. You know, I give you an example, Richard. Okay, just imagine you born 100 years earlier your birthday. So were you happy with your lower standard of living? You have no aircon, you cannot enjoy aircon, you have no electricity, no pipe water, no education, no vaccine. Only maybe half expected living age, maybe 35 or 40s, 100 years ago. So then we also must prepare for an unexpected raining days in our life. For instance, you don't overspend. I am an old-fashioned man. Sorry. Okay, don't overspend. Take care of your health and do not expect too high. That's very important. When we are younger, we think we can fly, but when we are in the middle age, maybe walking on the ground is also not bad, not a bad idea because it's more safety. So I think we just focus on what we can do. We maximize our unique potential or talents. So our life will be more meaningful, right? From the last biography, from one man's views of the world. Okay, I'm not given to making sense out of life or coming out with some grand narrative on it, other than to measure it by what you think you are one to do in life. As for me, I have done what I had wanted to the best of my ability. I am satisfied. So you no need to think, dream too big. You no need to think, okay, where we from? We from other planets or whatever. You just know what you're gifted and just maximize your potential. Just do what you can do. Just unlock your potential. Then I think you have a very wonderful life. Of course, you have to stay away from those things can make you have a miserable and painful life, right?
Really appreciate all the sharing and the 3 takeaways that you shared earlier. And
I'm sorry, my English is not very good.
No, it's okay. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay. But I learned so much from you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.